I think we all know that movies are great. Whether it's the whole movie or just certain parts of a movie, we all agree that they can be great. But the one aspect most people sleep on is the movie's score. Because unless you got an absolutely godly score or soundtrack, you can kiss any credibility of your movie's longevity out the damn window. Now, what do I mean by a film's soundtrack or score? Let me break it down. A film's score is an original piece of music that gets created by a composer to accompany a movie for scenes that help get across the emotional feel of the scene. A soundtrack is a collection of music from various artists that can serve the same purpose. It just means that you forked out millions of dollars to pay the artist and label to avoid copyright issues. Okay, now that we've defined what each of these are, let's talk about what I think are some of the best of the two and some of the worst. Off with the best film score. And I'm gonna say this. Animated movies have easily some of the best I've ever heard, and most of them come from one of my goats of film composing, John Powell, who has one of the most stacked catalogs of film scores in animation. How to Train Your Dragon is easily one of my top 5. Kung Fu Panda and Shrek? What the hell? Then another one of the goats, Michael Giacchino, who has another stacked catalog with both of The Incredibles, Up, Inside Out, and Ratatouille. Oh my god! Why do these guys have so many iconic film scores under their belt? But we can't leave out the live action scores, meaning we get to talk about another one of the goats, Hans Zimmer, who has provided so many iconic soundtracks with Interstellar, Inception, both Dunes, Blade Runner 2049. Oh my god! There's a reason these guys are the goats of film scores. Now let's get into the bad ones. The ones that make me question why the hell you turned this in. First up, we got Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker, which, my god, this has got to be one of the laziest film scores, because all this is just a nostalgia circle jerk, because it's just a giant reprise from every other better Star Wars movie. Like, did Disney just have no confidence in John Williams to make another amazing score, even though he's proved it to you 8 times before? Another one that's kinda trash is Death on the Nile. I know this is a fucking random pick, but hear me out. So the Hercule Poirot movies. I love these movies. I actually recently bought A Haunting in Venice and Oppenheimer on DVD because I went on a binge of the Poirot movies. And then it hit me that, wow, Murder on the Orient Express and A Haunting in Venice have amazing scores. And then Death on the Nile just had to be the damn sore thumb with one of the wonkiest scores out of the movies. And I'm sorry, it just also happened to be that Death on the Nile is the worst out of this trilogy. But I've said my piece on film scores. But what about soundtracks? You know, the ones they paid millions to artists and record labels. Let's start with the absolute bangers. The Spider-Verse movies are easily some of the best movie soundtracks I've ever heard. Like, the first one made my whole damn summer, and Metro Boomin made another summer for me with it. Like, my god. On top of being great movies, the soundtracks just enhanced it so much more. Another great one is the Guardians of the Galaxy trilogy, because my man James Gunn, when it comes to picking songs for these movies, was on point. Like, every one of these soundtracks, because the first one had so many iconic songs. The second, even though it's the weakest in my opinion, it is still loaded with bangers. And the third one was just so damn good. But then you have the soundtracks that suck. I think the one I really despise has to be the original Suicide Squad. And look, it is probably one of the weirdest soundtracks I've heard, because whenever they tried to use it in the movie, it felt out of place. Like, I'm sorry, who in the right mind thought playing Eminem's Without Me would match with a suit up of the squad? You deserve to be fired from your job. Or Panic at the Disco's cover of Bohemian Rhapsody for the ending before the Joker breaks Harley out. I'm sorry, this does not match the scene. Okay, I think that's gonna end it for me, because now I'm just pissed at the original Suicide Squad, both as a movie and horrible music placement. But I hope you enjoyed. Take care and peace.